There's light in the darkness, the flowers will bloom in the rain. There's power to harness and handling all of your pain. See all these troubles that we all go through. Dwell on the struggle and you're stuck like glue. Just close your eyes, visualize blue skies, those stormy nights. Failure is needed to grow, one step at a time, girl, take it slow. I have days where I wanna be alone. I have days where I don't pick up the phone. Seasons change, we all have those days. I have days where I'm on cloud nine. I have days where the stars align. Seasons change, we all have those days. Listen, yeah, seasons change and the world still turns. Turn that page, there's your lesson learned. Look, life's a blur, if you blink then you'll miss it. So make the most of your visit and feel it in your spirit. Just close your eyes and imagine.
Hello, happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you can hear me. You should be able to hear me. Looks like you can hear me. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Can't complain. I relaxed. I worked. I did a little bit. But, you know, the problem is I'm still home and I'm not on vacation. So I figured today I'll take you guys to visit a few exotic ports that our favorite cruise lines visit. And we didn't even realize it. So let's see who's here in the chat. Let's talk about it. And if you have been to some exotic ports, I know there's somebody in the chat that's been to one. Definitely go ahead and drop those ports in the chat and let's talk about where you've been. So first of all, I want to say hello to DT Cruiser. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday. And thank you for being the first person in the chat. I greatly appreciate you. And then on the go with yellow, happy Monday, friend. How are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Cassandra McCoy, how are you? Happy Monday. I appreciate you and thank you for being here. And then Phil and D is here. Hey, Phil. Hey, D. How are you guys? We hope you're doing well, having a great Monday. And thank you for joining us for Ship to Shore. Brandon may pop in. I know he's a little busy right now. He's actually off today. So just in case he does pop in, leave an empty seat for him. And if you are a member and you are here, thank you for being a member as well. And today, remember, we're talking all about the exotic places that cruise lines go. And I found some of these interesting and wanting to know myself if I would ever go. Hopefully I can. And hopefully you guys can too. If you have a favorite bucket list destination, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I know, like I said, I know there's some people who have had some amazing trips recently, and we would love to hear them and you to share your experiences. And also, if you see a destination that you've been to already, go ahead and drop it in the chat once we talk about it. That way, if you like vlogged it, or you know, if you are a content creator, go ahead and drop it in the chat, and that way we can go ahead and share in the experience with you. Let's see, Kathy B is here. Hey, Kathy B, how are you? Thank you for being here and happy Monday. And then Kenny Elliott is here. Hey, Kenny, how are you? Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Kenny said, what up, everybody? Cassandra says she is great, and we are all doing well. We're doing well. Thank you, guys. Please, yes, smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. So let's get into it. So we want to talk about where these cruise lines go. And it's not just Royal Caribbean. There's a plenty of cruise lines out there that goes to some of these exotic ports and destinations that we have not thought about. But it's always in the back of our mind when we think about our local cruise lines or our mainstream cruise lines that we all think Caribbean or Alaska, or we just think, you know, the Bahamas, but they actually go different places. And here's another world traveler, See It With C is in the building. Hey fam, welcome in. Happy Monday. She also just came off of Disney cruise in the Meds. So I think it was in the Meds. So yeah, so definitely if you hear your port of call come up, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you knew that Royal Caribbean had some exotic ports, you can definitely put a 1 in the chat, or put in the chat where you think Royal Caribbean may go, or you know they've gone, and you can't wait to experience. I think that's the thing I'm trying to say here. And excuse me if I'm a little flustered. I was trying to handle some business before I got on live stream, and they like butted up head to head. So yeah, so if you look and just think about, you know, where these cruise lines go, Royal Caribbean, you automatically think the Caribbeans, right? It's in the name. You think Alaska, you think the Meds. But do you know the specific places that they go? Did you know not only Royal Caribbean, did you know Celebrity goes to South Africa? Did you know Princess goes to the Amazon River? Did you know Holland America goes to Greenland? Like, did you? And they go there, and these are not places that we really consider going to these different locations. So let me just show you, for instance, let's look at a Royal Caribbean, because I know sometimes we like to see it, right? So let's look at Royal Caribbean's website. Let's see, let me make sure I can share it so you guys can see it as well. All right, so we're looking at Royal Caribbean's website, right? And Royal Caribbean does have some great offers of where they're going and some great experiences. But if we started looking into it, what are some of the places that they actually go? I can get my mouse to work now. So we have Tokyo to Vancouver. And most of these cruises are going to be longer cruises because we're going to destinations that we're not used to going to. Like, we're not doing these our quick little bop right? It's not going to be to the Bahamas and back. We're going to take these longer cruises to have these better experiences and enjoy a better, not only scenery, but get some more cultural experiences. So let's think about the first thing we want to think about, which would be a good way to experience those, are the transcontinentals or the transatlantics, right? Because we want to be able to go and experience and then make our way back, right? So those one-way cruises, the transatlantic ones, like from Tokyo to Colombia to Vancouver, right? So you want to look at those types. And for some reason, it's not letting me scroll it. There we go. Okay, so we have the 15-night from Tokyo to Vancouver. We have Tokyo to Singapore. And now, okay, we're going to look at this one. Okay, because the price, we're going to look at this one. Because the prices, some of them, the prices are really good. Some of them, okay, it might be a little sticker shock. But these are also once in a lifetime cruises. So let's think about that in the meantime. We'll C put her one in the chat. Appreciate you, C. Good morning, Will G. Thanks for being here. And let's see here. Who else? Leah Shay. Hey, how are you? Thank you for popping in. So yeah, so we have these different types of cruises from Royal, but a lot of these are going to be one-way cruises, and those are actually going to be the way that you could save the most money. So looking at those one-way cruises are definitely a big thing when it comes to the cruise line. So that's Asia, and then we have the Trans-Pacific ones as well. So those are also a good way to see these different destinations. Okay. So let me get you guys back to the presentation. Okay. So here we go. All right. All right. So did you know that there are over 200 countries served by mainstream cruise lines? Over 200 different countries. I know. So the first one we're going to talk about is Asia. When I say Asia, I don't mean like they're just docking in Hong Kong for 6 hours. I'm talking about you're getting a full cultural experience. So we're talking about Japan, where you can see the cherry blossoms, Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas, and the Spectrum of the Seas. They visit Japan, okay? And that's one of the things I want to do is like go to Japan, see the cherry blossoms, visit Mount Fuji. Those are the things that I want to be able to see and do and experience it. And then also, if you can do that via cruise line, that makes a world of a difference. Just think about what Royal Caribbean offers. Just imagine you on the Flow Rider. If you are a Flow Rider, right? If you ride a Flow Rider, and then Mount Fuji is in the background. Crazy. Crazy, okay? So that's some of the cool things that you can get from Royal. Celebrity Millennium, they do cultural immersion experiences. So you can go and do cooking classes with the actual Japanese grandmothers. And then you can hit the casino later, which is my favorite. So those are some of the things you can do with Celebrity. You can go to Thailand and Singapore on Princess. Okay, on the Princess Diamond and the Sapphire, you can go to Thailand and Singapore. And then I don't know if y'all watch it, but we're really into like White Lotus over here. So if you watch White Lotus on HBO, some of these destinations are popping up and they're getting very popular and expensive now because that show is going to these different destinations and highlighting them, and people are wanting to go. So maybe you can't go for all inclusive, but maybe you can actually jump on a cruise ship and go to these destinations and save yourself some money, because if you think about it, you can visit more than one depending on the itinerary versus just staying at that one. Okay. And then let's see here. Princess, you can actually go to the floating markets in Thailand. The floating markets in Thailand. So I always say one day I'm gonna be a world traveler. I'm gonna be able to do all this stuff, and hopefully I can. But and then we have who? Let's see here. I hope I don't mess your name up. LaGradia. I hope I did. I know I messed it up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you for popping in and thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I really do. And I'm sorry for messing up your name. So let's talk about some of the places that Princess goes, right? So let me share that one for you guys, because Princess is a popular one too. Okay, so there we go. That's Princess. So Princess, some of their Asian cruises. So we're looking at where they go in Asia and then some of the different destinations. They're currently booking for a 20. Call me L. Okay, I will. Thank you. Will G said the cruise prices seem good, but airline prices are crazy. And that's the thing. So one of the things I will say is, and then I know we'll start to get into a little bit later about how to get these prices for the cruises, the flights international. Definitely do your research and plan ahead. That's going to be your best bet. And I know Sid will see and On the Go with Yellow can both testify to this, that it does take planning to get to some of these destinations, because you got to make sure that you get the best price and you're not too late as far as cruising, as far as the flights are concerned. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Let's see here. So we're looking at right now, Princess is booking 2026, 2027 for Asia cruises. So you can cruise from Singapore, you can cruise to Hong Kong, and then you can cruise from Australia and New Zealand. These are some of the places I never thought about maybe cruising from. And I know I hear of like Australia all the time because Carnival is always advertising those cruises out of Australia, right? And all I can think of, like, man, I don't want to be on a plane for 2 days trying to get somewhere. So that's half the battle. But also, like Will said, half of the time you can get great prices on these cruises, and it's just about getting there. So another thing is also, once you get there, make sure you manage your time wisely, because a lot of the times the prices of flights in between countries once you leave the United States is a lot cheaper than it is if you were leaving from the United States. So, I talked to a couple recently who took a trip. They took like a month-long cruise vacation. Now I know everybody ain't got that, but I'm just sharing their experience. They flew to Africa. They sailed around South Africa, and then they flew to Europe, and they did a 14-day European cruise. And it's like, and I'm sitting here thinking, they were like, well, the prices were better. Once we got there, it was easier. I was like, oh, okay, well, hey. But these are just some of the destinations. And real quick, I'll pull up some of the cruises, that some of the pricing. So you got a 10-day Vietnam cruise, and it's round trip from Singapore for $1,069 a person. Okay, $1,069 a person. And I'm not going to sit here and butcher these. Y'all already know I don't halfway, I can't halfway pronounce things. So I'm not going to pronounce these names. But look at the different port stops. You get 5 different port stops on this 10-day cruise. These are 4 port stops. This is a Thailand and Vietnam cruise. So that's 4 different port stops. And a 13-day cruise through Asia and Australia. I mean, it's crazy. The prices are so, for a different cultural experience, the prices are great, because some of the cruises now out of the United States, you're not going to get that price. Some of them now you're not going to get that price. But if you can get there and you find a great deal, the world is your oyster. And there's a lot of different websites and apps where you can set notifications for when the price drops on different cruises. So make sure you utilize those tools as well. I know we all know Google Flights, but there's also different things like the Dollar Flight Club. I don't know if you guys have heard of like Daily Drop. That is from Kara and Nate. That's their newsletter, but they also have a portion where they let you know when prices drop. So make sure you look into these different options to save you some money for when you're actually getting ready to go on a cruise, or you want to try to experience some of these locations. Okay, so let me get back into the other screen here. Okay, so we're back. All right, so let's talk about the South Pacific. Okay, we're gonna talk about Asia. So we just did Asia. Sorry. Let's see. Speaks that. Sorry, y'all. Now let's talk about the destinations in the South Pacific. South Pacific. Y'all know I can't talk. Don't judge me. So we're talking about Tahiti, Bora Bora, Fiji. I know y'all seen those like overwater bungalows when you go onto Instagram and everybody's talking about how great these different overwater bungalows are and how beautiful it is, and you get those Instagram worthy pictures. Yes, you can get all that, but you can also get all that on a cruise. YOLO, you're absolutely fine. We're just talking about different locations. Right now, we're on the South Pacific. If you've been to any of these locations, feel free to drop any of your blogs or anything that you have on it in the chat so people can share in your experience. So I know you guys have seen them, and you know, some of those cost like $2,000 a night. We ain't got that, but we can get on a cruise, right? We can get on a cruise. So Oceania, they sell the South Pacific. Now, listen. What's up, G? Yeet. Thank you for being here, G Fox. I appreciate you popping in today. We're talking about these exotic destinations that these cruise lines go to. So we already know Oceania is expensive. We're not going to sit here and act like it's not a boutique cruise line, right? We know they usually are smaller ships and they sell around 600 passengers. So you do get that luxury boutique feel. But when you pair that with exotic destinations and you get butler service included and gourmet dining and you're island hopping at the same time, sometimes the money might be worth island hopping. Okay. So, let's see. Celebrity, they also do a South Pacific cruise. So the Celebrity Solstice, you can get that modern luxury from them, and they go to places like Fiji and Tahiti. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you can sit on your balcony, you can sip your champagne, which you know we love to do. We can watch the sunset over Bora Bora, and then, you know, go to the rooftop bar for live music and have Bora Bora in the background. Come on, that sounds good, don't it? I know, it sounds bad. And we home. Y'all home with me. That's all right. So those are just some of the different things Celebrity has to offer, and the specific ship. Pacific is specific. It's going to be the death of me, okay? So the great part about this is that the cruise ships are basically reacting as your 5-star resort. What's going on, Fearless Rambler? How are you? Thank you for being here. Now, with these cruise lines, especially some of these more elevated cruise lines, you're going to get that elevated experience as is. So then let's talk about the destinations that you're going to on top of that. Okay. So if you're floating on Oceania and you already have the gourmet cabin, the gourmet food, like the elegant cabin, the gourmet food, you have this luxury feel, and then Bora in the background. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let me show you some Oceania cruises. Let me show you some of the itineraries. Now, y'all know how they do. Y'all know how they do. They might not show you. They might not show you the pricing. They're gonna tell you what. Call your travel agent. Call your travel agent. So, Oceania has 120 plus new tropic and exotic itineraries. Okay, let's look at that. Look at that. I'm ready. I'm already ready to go. I'm already ready to go. Some of these destinations are just absolutely gorgeous, and getting there by cruise ship, which we already love to do. And then overnight in the ports. Come on, overnight in the ports. Come on, overnight in the ports. Going to Rio de Janeiro and then the Amazon, on the Amazon River, and you staying overnight and you can explore. Because I know our good friend On the Go with YOLO just did a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I know she did. She has a vlog out on it. So let's think about this. Do you get that small ship luxury? So let's go back. They had a little video. Let's see what it's talking about. Save up to 10%. Come on, save up to 10%. We like a little savings. I know 10% don't sound like much, but we like a little bit of savings, okay? So let's look at some of the destinations and maybe even itineraries if they show it to us, because y'all know how we do here. Y'all know we want to see it. And they might not give us the details. And remember, we said it's going to be a little bit more pricey, but we're paying for the experience, right? We're paying for the once-in-a-lifetime experience. We're paying for those bucket list destinations. So Bangkok to Bali, you're looking at $3,500 per guest. And that's on January 15th through the 19th of 2026. Okay? So, let's see, Bali to Hong Kong, you're looking at $4,300 per guest. And that's from January 19th through February 6th. These are long sailing, 18 days, 14 days, 12 days. Seoul to Shanghai, 14 days. Mumbai to Cape Town. You're looking at 20 days, and that's $4,800. Yellow said, yes, Acropolis is considered a UNESCO site, as well as Ephesus. You know I can't say stuff. Don't judge me. Cape Town to Lisbon is 24 days. Singapore to Cape Town, 30 days. A 30-day cruise, $8,000. All the fancy food and drink you want. I know this bucket list stuff, but $8,000. Okay. Hey, Lady Yo, how are you? Thank you for popping in over on the Facebook side. I appreciate it. And then everything you need for 30 days, and you get to go to all these different destinations. Let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. Let's see if it shows where it goes. So we are boarded in Singapore. We're going to Malaysia. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stops in Malaysia. Then we're going to go to Thailand. So we have an overnight in Thailand. Okay, and then we have 2 CAs. And then we're in Sri Lanka. So we have 2 different stops in Sri Lanka. Okay, then we're at sea again, and then we're in the Maldives. Hello. Hello. How are you? We're just talking about these exciting ports and how we can be at sea for 30 days for $8,000 a person. That's awesome.
That's right.
Then we're gonna go to the coast of Africa, okay, the African coastline. Then we're gonna get into, let's see, wow, some of these destinations, like I said, y'all know I'm not going to sit here and try to pronounce them, but we're in South Africa now. This is a great birthday month cruise for a whole month. For a whole month,
we can find something else to do.
We can find something else to do. But these are the prices that you're looking at, and then look at this. Some of them are adding on airfare. Some of them are adding on airfare. I can't get it out. Yellow said, I heard Oceania is nice, but Regents is better. And yeah, the money. Yeah, exactly. Elle said, wow, great deal. Listen, it's a good deal. Shaw Rose said, good afternoon. So we daydream. Yeah, we're going to daydream just a little bit today. Just a little bit. Because, you know, if we're going to these bucket list destinations, you got to daydream. It's Monday. We got to start the day off with $1 to dream because that's all we got today. Okay? So we're going to take our dollar and dream with it. We're going to dream with it. If you can afford a $17,000 flight, hotel, and food and excursions. Yeah, well, if you can afford it, you can do it. Hey, one thing I'm going to say, I ain't going to never count nobody's pocketbook, okay? I ain't never counting your pockets. You might have it. Just because I ain't got it don't mean you might not have it. And this is not, I mean, for somebody who wants to have this Asia and Africa experience in one cruise, if you have the time, if you can work on a ship, or even if you just are retired, this might be for you. This might be for you. So yeah, listen, I just want to see what kind of excursions they're offering in these countries. So the only thing that popped up was Singapore. So they got different things. They got different levels. But hey, you like I said, you never know. You never know. Let's see. Yellow said, because you're going to need to get out and eat and drink and see stuff. Right. So you on these cruises, this ain't one of those, I'm going to wait till I get back to the ship. You want to actually explore what is going on here. You want to see what is going on. So, yeah, this is definitely not one of those let's wait and get back to the ship things. All right. So, let's see here. So we are in South Pacific. Oh, yeah. And also, what's better that Wi-Fi is included too. So at least we can give you a little bit of Wi-Fi. You know, you might be paying $17,000, but Wi-Fi is included. I don't want to. It don't matter. It don't matter. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. And then let's see here. So right now you can go with Oceania, Celebrity, and Princess. So that's going to make up the cruise lines that you can visit these South Pacific islands on. And yeah, let's look into them. If you're thinking about it, or if you want me to look into it for you, I'll be more than happy to book this for you. More than happy. You reach out to your girl, okay? She gonna make it work for you. Lady O said, I want to go to Africa, but my gosh. Listen, but also let's not forget, when you do go, most of these cruise lines, anyways, like I know Oceania and Yola was saying Regent and all that, they are mostly, they're probably going to be 100% balcony cabins, if not mostly balcony cabins. But if you want to have that experience, book a balcony cabin, okay? Yola said, cha-ching. Isaiah, hey Isaiah, how are you? Thank you for popping in. Isaiah said, I like that things are included, and it makes a difference because that's one thing. One of the other cruise lines, and that's not so, you know, a newer cruise line. That's one of their philosophies. Like, if people are going to pay for it anyway, go ahead and include it into what they're paying for. That's that's like the Virgin model, right? That's the Oceania model. That's the Regent model. If you're going to pay for it anyway, why don't I go ahead and include it in the price? And that way, once you get on the ship, you don't feel nickel and dime. You already know how much your initial investment is up front. And I honestly wish more cruise lines did that, because now I know once I get on the ship, if it's something that I want, I don't have to worry about it. It's already there, right? So that's one of the beautiful things about taking one of these luxurious cruise lines. And let's see here. So the Amazon, the Amazon River. So now we're getting more into those smaller ships, right? Those specialty ships. And Celebrity does it very well. They have the Celebrity Flora and the Expedition, and they actually navigate the Amazon River. You want to go on the Amazon River?
I wouldn't mind it.
I wouldn't mind it either. I mean, listen, the Flora only carries up to 100 guests though, so you know it's not going to be cheap. We know it's not going to be cheap. But you know, you'll have year-round guides on, and they'll actually talk to you about your destinations and make sure that you understand where you're going. And I like that some of the cruise lines actually also offer like little TED Talks on the ports of calls. So that's pretty cool. And then of course, what's the main thing? You're walking where Charles Darwin walked. I don't know if that makes a difference to most people, but
I don't know. You made it seem like this. I'm like, wait a minute.
It might make a difference to most people. You never know. Going to Rio de Janeiro, taking a selfie with Christ the Redeemer.
That part is
I would love to do that. And yeah, call me what you want to call me. But that movie Rio, it made me want to go. Rio made me want to go. I'm like, you know what? It looked like a good time over there. I know it's a cartoon, but it looked like a good time. I want to go. Don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. Together we travel. How are you? Thank you for being in, fam. We appreciate you joining. Happy Monday. And then On Go Yellow says, yes, Princess Holland and Celebrity do these very well. Very well. Yellow says South Africa has several cities on my list. Okay, girl. Get there. Listen, let me go ahead and book it for you where you can go on Oceania. I think that's the one. That's the one for you. Yep, that's the one. So let's talk about Holland America. The Holland America's cruise. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like, because there's some of the name of their ships. Some of them I got, some of them I don't. The Zandam, and the Crown Princess. They both go to Patagonia and the Antarctica. Okay, they go to Patagonia and Antarctica. So if Princess, they navigate the Forge and Patagonia and even some Antarctic Peninsula voyages. So even just going through the glaciers, amazing. Yellow says South Africa has several cities on my list. Let's see, South America, not Africa. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a nice picture. Let's see. So, Celebrity, you get to go to the Galapagos, okay? And they always do those as expedition ships. Once again, we're talking about the Celebrity Flora. And then we're talking about Holland America. And they have been doing these kind of experiences for decades. Holland America and Princess have been one of the two cruise lines that have been basically the longest in the game as far as even like Alaska cruises and stuff like that. And then we're also talking about Princess once again. So these are just a couple of things that we want to highlight. And then I did put this in here. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I do want you guys to see this video because it is actually pretty cool when they're talking about how they're going to. It's only like I'm going to play the whole thing.
A cruise on Celebrity Flora to the Galapagos Islands offers a unique blend of adventure and relaxation in one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. Situated 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, this volcanic archipelago is truly a world apart. On our award-winning Galapagos adventures, you'll relax in spacious accommodations, savor globally inspired cuisine made with locally sourced ingredients, and be treated to exquisite service, all while uncovering the rugged charms and wonders of these remote and ecologically diverse islands.
Isn't that cool? Like, first of all, the ship is so small, it's a small little, like I said, it only holds about 100 people, but just going to this destination in its own, and then having these one-of-a-kind like experiences, and then you're going to have tours automatically included. I think it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to show you guys a little piece of that. If you want to find it, I can certainly share it with you, but it's a 3-minute video, and you can actually find it from Celebrity's website. If you just go under the Galapagos Islands with Celebrity, it'll actually pop up for you. So really, really cool. Let's see here. So also when we're talking about going to these remote regions, we also want to talk about the safety factors. So, you always have to keep safety in mind and make sure the cruise ship is your main base. Okay. So if you are going on these exotic excursions, know that maybe with like Celebrity Flora or with Oceania, most of the times you're going to be in with them and they're going to have guides already there for you. So you're not going to have to worry about like we do with Caribbean or Bahama cruise. Hey, I got to go find my own short excursion. A lot of those things are already built in with the price. So it's pretty awesome to think about. And when you go anywhere that's not where you're from, be careful of the drinking water. Take your own water with you and make sure that you are taking care of yourself first. That's the most important thing. Lita Shay said, that's nice. Yeah, you know what? It's not, I really like stuff like that. But once again, it's all about proper planning. And that's one of those things that you're just going to have to take some time to plan. All right. So let's talk about Africa. When we're saying safari meets the sea, right? You can get to Africa on a cruise ship and do different things that you never thought you would be able to do. So some of these mainstream cruise lines dock in Africa. So South Africa, you have the MSC Orchestra and the Celebrity Infinity. All right. They regularly visit Cape Town. So cruise lines you already know and feel comfortable with are going to South Africa. Okay. So also you can go wine tasting. Okay. And I know a lot of us like to have that little taste of elegance, right? We like to have our wine tasting. We like to do the different things in different countries. That's one thing that you can actually do. If you go to Morocco, the Celebrity Edge ships, Celebrity Edge class ships, they navigate to Morocco. MSC, the MSC's newest ships, they go to Casablanca. You can visit Casablanca and Moroccan ports. So if you like to go to like some of the Moroccan markets and get your spices and buy your authentic merch, you can actually do that on a cruise ship. And then is it the Shells? I can never say it right. I think it's the Shells Island. YOLO, please let me know if I'm right or wrong. I know I didn't say it right. The MSC Splendida, and the Oceania Insignia visits these islands, and you can get on these beaches, like these Photoshop, like Instagrammable beaches from these cruise lines. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Y'all know some of these names gonna get me, so just bear with me, baby. Bear with me. Let's see. So those are just some of the places that you can actually visit with those cruise lines in South Africa. So MSC, of course, we know. Okay, MSC, we know you're going to experience that European elegance. Okay, so just know that when you're doing MSC, it might look a little bit different. And I know our friend Peter from My Cruising Family, they actually have a video, a series on their channel when they cruise around South Africa on MSC. So make sure you go over there and check them out. Celebrity, of course, you're going to get that sophisticated take on the safari culture. You're going to get expert-led excursions. And then, you're going to get that taste of the African culture. Then Oceania, okay, is more of a culinary experience, right? So you're not going to just get the regular buffet. You're going to get the chef-led market tours, okay? Those are the things you're going to get. And, of course, the pro tip is pack layers, because everything ain't regular summer, winter, fall like it is here. Sometimes the weather does its own thing. You need to be prepared for it, right? So, anywhere you've seen that you want to visit so far?
Let me go Africa because I like animals.
You like animals?
Yeah, I like exotic animals. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be cool too. So let's see here. All right. And let's talk about my favorite, my white whale, the one I'm just going to keep chasing until I get it. Okay. I'm just going to keep chasing it until I get it. Let's talk about Alaska, because of course, Alaska. Why not Alaska? You want to just go out and explore the wilderness. That's my wilderness that I want to find, right? I know we both like warm weather. You don't like hot weather. You like comfortable weather. Yes. So be prepared for that when you go to the Galapagos too, on top of seeing those animals. But you always say to me, I'd rather be cold than hot. So this is your spot.
I can always add clothes.
You can always add clothes. So what you're going to expect to see in Alaska? You're going to see bears, whales, eagles, and the glaciers. And these are the things that are on Instagram. Isaiah said, I love MSC. Okay, MSC. Listen, we weren't sure about it at first, but MSC is growing on us. Okay, so those are the things that you're going to see. The wildlife pops up when you least expect it, so make sure you're always camera ready. And then some of these cruise lines, don't forget, offer not only cruise, but they offer cruise and land tours. Okay, so if you ever are looking into a cruise adventure, just know you can do cruise tours. Cruise tours mean you can have a couple of days before, or even a day before your cruise, where you go out and explore the local area, and you can do the same thing afterwards. Some of them partner with the cruise lines, partner with the train lines, and you can do a cruise and train tour. So just know that those are options for you. You don't have to just cruise, right? You can cruise and explore more inland for Alaska. So, but make sure, okay, so some of the things that we want to talk about, you want to make sure, okay, not only we know you're going to need a jacket, but our friends Sid with C, and I think it's a couple others in the chat, Phil and D, they went to Alaska last year, right? So if you guys want to drop your Alaska series, feel free to do so. But it was times where I was watching C, and C was like, look, it's hot this morning. It was cold this morning. Now it's hot. Like, layers. Make sure you protect yourself, because layers are important. Even on a regular cruise ship, I'm just like, listen, I got to have my sweater for at night, because I know it gets cold on the cruise. Alaska and some of these other countries, the weather is not predictable. So make sure you're packing in layers. When you think it's going to be cold, it might be hot.
They sell coats in the gift shop.
They do sell coats in the gift shop, but you want to pay that kind of money?
No, I didn't know they.
Yeah, you get anything you want in the gift shop. Yellow said yes. Pack layers. Pack layers. C said with Alaska, the key is to stay
Dry.
Okay, thank you. The key is to stay dry. Waterproof jacket, boots, hat, gloves, and random bottles of sunscreen. So even though you're going to Alaska, pack your sunscreen.
Got it.
What's a good time to go to Alaska and see the Northern Lights and the whales? So from what I understand, the Northern Lights are usually later in the season. I gotta, Brandon's gonna look it up for us. But I think it's later in the season, because I know during the early season, which is probably like May when it first starts, everything is pretty dormant, and animals and stuff are just coming out of hibernation, so you may not see as much. The whales, I feel like you can see at any point in time, but I know, like, if you're looking for like bears, salmon, you got to look for the time of year that salmon runs, which are usually like later in May. But then I think the Northern Lights are usually later in the season, closer to August or September.
Late August, September, April, early May.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So, so that's definitely something to think about. Okay. And let's see here. So,
if you need me to repeat that, I don't know if people heard me.
Oh, you can say it again. Yeah, sure.
So that's late August to September, and April to early May. So
you have two very specific time frames. Early May, April to early May, or late August to September is when the best time to go to Alaska and see the Northern Lights. Thanks for asking, Isaiah. I appreciate that. And then, you know, the most important thing is we outside of the experience and what some of these cruise lines offers, because you know you're going to get the amenities. You know, a lot of these cruise lines talk about stability and you know, their ships not being able to feel the motion and all that stuff. We're going to talk about all that. We've talked about all that stuff, right? We're talking about the world-class entertainment. We've talked about the dining. But the thing that most people are concerned about is when to go and the budget. Okay. So for Asia, spring is the most popular time to go because you want to talk about the cherry blossoms in Japan. The fall, the weather is while fall offers the perfect weather across the continent, avoid summers because of the heat and the monsoon season. So spring is going to be your time for Africa, because gosh knows you don't want to go to Africa and get caught up in a monsoon. Asia, I'm sorry, Asia, thank you. South Pacific, you can do year round, but there is hurricane season from November to April. And May to October offers the most reliable weather. Okay, Yellow said, yes, cherry blossoms in Japan. Yes. That's another like bucket list thing. Alaska, you're talking May to September only. May to September only. The season is short, but spectacular. June to August offers the warmest temperatures, while May and September mean fewer crowds. So it depends on what you want. You want warmer temperatures and probably more. And honestly, it's probably going to be more active. Okay, it's probably going to be more active. But remember, the earlier you go, the more dormant that maybe the wildlife will be. South America, their summer is not our summer. Their summer is December through February. December through February. Okay, so if you're trying to go somewhere warm for the winter, visit South America. Okay. C said, if you need some cheap cherry blossoms, come to DC. We were gifted trees from Japan. Not as exotic of a destination though. No, but that is what was I thinking about? Red Hulk.
Yes,
Captain America, Red Hulk tearing up the cherry blossoms. Yeah, so that's exactly what I thought of when I was talking about it. I was like, huh. So see, we were right on point with each other. Okay, and Africa is the dry season. So go during the dry season. So you'll be a little happier if you go during May through September. Northern Africa is best in the spring and fall to avoid extreme heat. I've never been, but I know our good friend C has been to South Africa. When would you suggest is a good time for people to go? Let's see. Yellow said they were there earlier this year. Remember, it didn't work out. Okay, so the perfect time to book 12 months out, right? 12 months out, 6 months out for the okay stuff. But if you want the great stuff, 12 months out, and especially for these more exotic itineraries, you want to make sure you're booking far enough out to where you can save some money. Hey, Makai, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Let's see here. She said, oh yeah, the timing got to be right with our blossoms, but cheaper flights. Yes.
Touché.
Yes. Absolutely. So if you want to talk money, let's talk money, because I know that's what everybody is really wondering about, is the money aspect of it, right? Okay. So if you're talking Asian cruises, you want to go between $1,500 to $4,000 a person, and that's for a 7 to 14 day ship. Royal Caribbean Quantum Class, Celebrity Millennium, Princess Diamond, and Sapphire, and you equate it to about what a family can spend at Disney World. So if you want to go to Disney World and you want to spend 14 days, you're probably going to, I'm going to say closer to 7 days. You're probably going to spend more of that $4,000 range than you would on 14 days. So she said it's only 5 hours away. We would drive to save flights for 3. I'm sorry, that was YOLO. My bad. Go to South Africa in November and December for warm weather, or festive season, September for a cheap flight, and it feels like fall with a hot day or two. So good tips. Thank you for that, C. We appreciate it.
She frequents.
Yeah. Yeah,
frequent South Africa.
Absolutely. And then we're talking about South Pacific. You're looking at a $2,000 to $6,000 range per person for about 10 to 14 days on the ship. So Oceania has smaller ships, Celebrity Solstice class, Princess Island class, and it's still cheaper than a week in like the overwater bungalows of like Bali. Okay, so just keep that in mind. South America and the Galapagos, $3,000 to $8,000 per person for specialized expedition ships like Celebrity Flora in the Galapagos or Holland America, Patagonia. And this includes expert naturalist guides and experiences you literally cannot get anywhere else. These cruise lines curate those specific types of not only TED Talks or excursions to their cruise line. So always remember that. And then, of course, Africa, you're talking about a range between $2,500 to $5,000 a person for a 10 to 14 days sailing. MSC Orchestra, Celebrity Infinity, Oceania Insignia. And you compare those to African safari lodges of about $1,000 per night. So those are just some of the price breakdowns. And I know even with MSC, you can probably most likely get cheaper flights. I'm sure you can. I mean, cheaper cruises. I'm sure you can. But once again, we're always talking about the flights, right? The flights are going to be the thing that's going to cost us. So if we can get over the hump of the flights or find a good deal on the flight, that's where you want to go. And in some of these cases, it might be easier to work backwards. It might be easier to work backwards. If I find a flight, then go look for the cruise. And honestly, if you want to save money, a lot of these cruise lines are doing a book now, pay later. I know I can offer my clients flex pay. It used to be Uplift, but flex pay, Affirm, all of these new buy now, pay later to help you pay for the cruise. And some of them have it built in. Say, for instance, Royal Caribbean, you can set up automatic payments every month. Once you put down that deposit, you can set up automatic payments and actually have your travel agent plan out how many payments you want to make to actually pay your cruise off in these bite-sized chunks to make it easier for you. Hey, Keisha, how are you? Thanks for popping in. Keisha said, I've been outside running errands. Love these midday sessions. Happy Monday. Thank you, fam. I appreciate you. Happy Monday. Thanks for popping in. So let's see here. All right, so if you want to take the kids, you ain't got to take them, okay? But if you want to take them, you want to be those superstar parents. Let's talk about these kid-approved adventures. In Japan, they have the Pokemon Center, right? Yeah, okay, take them to Japan. Alaska's Junior Naturalist Wildlife Program. In Australia, they have the koala encounters. That's for me, baby. That ain't for the babies. That's for me. Let me tell y'all a little inside secret. When I was in kindergarten, I had a koala bear backpack. Can't y'all imagine little me with a koala bear on my back? Because that's how they hold on to stuff anyway, like this. But that was my backpack. It was a koala bear. And I love that thing. I love that thing. I am an animal person as is. But that koala bear backpack, that was my thing. And then let's see here. While the ship does offer like rock climbing walls and wave pools. Royal and Disney excel in making exotic destinations kid friendly. Hey, Travel Yes We See, how are you? We're talking about exotic cruise destinations, and I know you got some in your pockets, so go ahead and drop where you've been at, okay? Parent approved perks. So while your children enjoy these cultural activities in the kids club, parents can relax. Family Suites offer space for everyone's souvenirs, and also you can sit back, have a drink, and enjoy the beautiful scenery in the background. And the kids in the kids club, right? Do your thing. Okay, do your thing. And then, okay, teens too, because we know the teenagers are in this era of social media. We all are honestly in the era of social media, but some heavier than others. So let the kids go out and explore a little bit. Show them that actually being able to do this thing works for them. And then when they get out there, they can show their friends and just like, hey, look where I am. And a lot of times it helps them grow and learn and meet new people as well. So think about those things when you think about exploring with kids. Okay, let's see here. I think I went back. Yep, I did go back a lot. All right, so we already talked about the budget. So this is the reality of the budget. Okay, so just so I said it to you, but now you can see. Okay, this is the reality of the budget. So once again, Asia 1,500 to 4,000, South Pacific is 2,000 to 6,000, Alaska 1,200 to 3,500, and then South America $1,800 to $5,000. Okay, and these all come with different experiences. So just make sure you tap into your travel agent just to learn what you will gain from that. Okay, so booking hacks. We want to talk about when to book. Wave season is always the best time to book. Book wave season deals because they're going to try to save you at least 30 to 40% because they want these things off of their books and they want these cabins sold. So look during wave season, okay? Repositioning cruise. Those are the cheapest cruises because you may have more sea days than you do have land days. So if you're looking for the experience and there's a couple of bucket list items that you want to knock off your list, a repositioning cruise is the way to go. And then most of the times you only need a one-way flight. You don't have to buy a round trip flight. We can also save you some money. So repositioning cruises will save you money. Look for group cruises, right? Because if you book in groups, a lot of the times it's going to be a little bit cheaper than it would be if you didn't, if you booked on your own. So look for people who are hosting groups on these specific types of travel. Okay. And then also we want to talk about the sweet spot of timing. Okay. The sweet spot of timing. Book between 12 to 18 months in advance. That's going to give you a better time for selections. You're going to be a little bit more flexible when it comes to payments. And then you can sometimes find last minute deals, but a lot of the times you're going to get your better pricing 12 to 18 months out because a lot of these cruise lines, especially these exotic cruises, they're not the ones that say, okay, you went to the last minute to book, you're going to have a better price. These specialty types of cruises are going to get the best price the earlier you book. All right. And make sure you download weather apps. Make sure you have your essential travel gear. Make sure that you have your Google Maps and download the offline maps for specific destinations you're going to be at, because you're going to make sure that you are not only prepared, that you also don't go somewhere and get lost. Okay. Don't go somewhere and get lost. Let's see here. So, for example, if you're talking about Alaska, we want to talk about Princess Cruises because Princess actually, right now, they kind of offer the better price points when it comes to cabins. Okay, so book Princess in January. The Galapagos, you were talking about the Celebrity Flora. We talked about that being a smaller specialty ship. Maybe 100 passengers on that ship. Book that 12 to 18 months in advance because smaller ship, the faster it fills up. Okay. And also we're talking about pricing, right? And saving you money and budgeting. That's going to give you time to pay for it. Royal Quantum class ships offer the perfect balance of adventure and amenities. And we're talking about Asia for Royal. When we're talking about the South Pacific, we're talking about Oceania for the luxury and Princess for the families. When we're talking about Africa, we're talking about MSC for your value. Okay, the value is what we're talking about for MSC. Celebrity for a bit of sophistication. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And then I think I wanted to show you one more MSC. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Sorry about that. I wanted to show you MSC because MSC is offering let's see, a lot of different destinations. So when we talk MSC, we can see we're looking at the Mediterranean. Of course, we have our Caribbean, Panama Canal crossing, Dubai. Okay, I think my cruising family did Dubai as well. Dubai, Northern Europe, the Canary Islands, Bermuda, Alaska, South Africa, South America, Asia, And then, of course, their private island, and then the Grand Voyages cruise. And I listen, if you got it and you want to book it, call me. I'll book it for you. I would love to book one of these world cruises for somebody. The world cruises are what is in right now. We saw the boom last year when they did a world cruise. So yeah, world cruises are the thing, and that's the way you can spend the most time at sea, living on the ship, going to these different destinations. World cruises are the thing, right? So, just a quick question, drop it in the chat. If you saw something on the presentation that you would like to explore, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. And if you had it and money was no issue, is there a place that you would like to explore? That's the better question. If you had it, money was no issue, where would you like to go? Where would you like to go? But MSC is definitely it's a contender when it comes to all these different sports, because just thinking about all these different places you could go and not even it being in front of your mind, because we're so conditioned to cruise lines doing like Alaskan, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean cruises, and maybe even some European, but some of these different destinations we are not even conditioning ourselves to think about. So that is definitely something that we should think about and consider. Travel Yes We See said, for many, the carnival journeys are going to be a great value if you can swing time off. We had 200 kids on Valor, Barcelona to NOLA. Good educational experience, just filtered journeys on the carnival site. Thank you. 200 kids though. But you know what? A lot of times what people are doing is when they take these cruises, some of the times they can pass them off to up to the school and saying it's an educational, and they get the kids out of school. So that's another way to consider it too. If you want to get the kids out of school and you got time, go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Go ahead and do it. But 200 kids on a carnival journey sailing, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see here. And I think, guys, we are coming to an end. Do you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to drop before we log off? Because listen, it's here for you. It's here for you. All of them are here. Sid with C said, I had a former classmate who cruised transatlantic to Europe because it was cheaper than flying her family. From here to Europe. That's smart. That's really smart, actually. That's really smart. And especially if you do it like in the beginning of the summer when they start sending the ships over for the summer season. That's really smart. Huh. People are so creative. Hey, well, you got to have a creative budget. You do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. So that's really smart. Onago Yellow said, if money and time was no issue, I would do the world cruise, specifically South America, Patagonia, and Antarctica. Nice. Love it. I think if money and time were no issue, I think that would be it too. I think that would be it too. That was smart because they are cheap, and if they are out of school and close to being out of school, yeah, no, for sure. That's smart. That is so smart. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me this Monday. It has been fun once again. And if you guys have any topics that you guys want to share, please feel free to email me. The email address is scrolling at the bottom. And if you saw something that caught your eye and you may want me to look into it, your girl is here, baby. She's here for you. Okay. Just scan the QR code in the corner. In that corner over there. Yep, that corner. And then I can get you a quote free of charge. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys joining me. And until the next time, Parker's out.